Welcome to CityBeat, inside Palo Alto. I'm P.A. Moore. In today's show, we're going to learn about family resources. We'll find out what's going on with our storm drains. And we're going to hear about Sunset Magazine's Idea House. Do stay with us. Sunset Magazine and Summerhill Homes have collaborated on a wonderful project called the Idea House, where you can learn about how to remodel your home. We're going to meet some people involved in this project. Lydia Lyons is Home Programs Director for Sunset Magazine. Lydia, tell me something about what the house looked like originally.
The house was very enclosed and compartmentalized. The rooms didn't have a very good flow from one room to the other.
And when it comes to designing a big space like this, how did you approach that?
We pulled our interior designer into the process immediately once we became involved with the home and started looking at the rooms and how people today would use the house and how a family of today would use the house, and started working at it from that angle.
And how long does it take from start to finish for an Idea House like this?
Usually about a year to a year and a half.
That's a pretty long time. It starts with the scouting of the house and then the acquiring the house, and then what?
That's right. We start working with the builder, and then we set about interviewing a design team who we feel is a good match. We're looking for a team that has a vision for the home, and we try and pull together a cohesive team. It's a year-long collaboration, and so we want to make sure that everybody works well together and is going to have fun at the same time. And so
this whole idea came about because Sunset, a number of years ago, was celebrating its anniversary, and look where you are now.
That's right. This is now our 7th Idea House, and the article in the magazine is one of the most popular. It gets the highest readership score. We usually get between 25 and 30,000 people attending these Idea Houses, and they're very popular.
Well, I'm sure we'll all get a great number of ideas. Thank you so much, Lydia.
Thank you.
Elaine Breeze is Vice President of Summerhill Homes, and she's here to talk about the relationship with Sunset Magazine and the Idea House. Elaine, tell us how it all happened.
Well, Sunset Magazine became aware of our University Park project here, and we're very excited about its downtown Palo Alto location and the mix of housing that we have, and they wanted it to be the next spot for their Idea House.
And this is a big house. Tell me something about the house itself.
Well, the house was actually located up the block originally, and we moved it here, and in doing so we added a basement. It's almost 5,000 square feet, and so it's created a lot of fun spaces for the designers to work in.
So with all that space, upstairs, downstairs, inside and out, who's doing what?
Well, it's really been a collaborative effort. Because of its historic nature, the city and the community had a lot of interest in the exterior preservation and renovation. As well, then we partnered with Sunset, doing a lot of the interior ideas as well as landscaping ideas.
And the magic question, what's going to happen to this property when the Sunset Idea House is over?
Somebody's going to get to own all these great ideas.
Oh, wish it were me. I'm here at the Idea House with Ken Johnson, Executive Director of Gamble Gardens. Ken, tell me something about the relationship between Gamble Garden and Idea House.
Well, PA, every year Sunset Magazine selects one nonprofit partner to provide the staffing for the Idea House. And as a consequence, we receive a substantial grant and lots of good publicity. And in this instance, it's a perfect match because Sunset's audience is, in fact, the same folks who take advantage of our educational programs and who are our members and volunteers at Gamble Garden right here in Palo Alto.
And Gamble Garden itself, tell me something about your mission and some of your programs.
Sure. Well, I think the key words that describe us are people, plants, education, and inspiration. Our garden is open 365 days a year at no charge. We receive no support from any government entities. We raise all of our money from the generosity of donors, and we provide programs for seniors, adults, college students, and children.
I understand you have a summer kids camp. What's that all about?
That's one of our many collaborations, actually, with the Palo Alto Junior Museum. Camp Green Thumbs is going to run 8 weeks this summer, and it's grades K through 5, where children get to come and learn about ecology and bugs and dirt and plants and how the world really works, and it's a lot of fun.
You mentioned the word inspiration. How does that fit into your mission?
Well, I think if you go to Gamble Garden and just walk around, it's a very inspiring place to be. Tranquility, healing are also themes in the garden, as well as horticulture and how to make plants work and how to conserve water.
Thanks so much, Ken.
You're welcome, PA.
The Idea House will be opening in July. Check the website for more details and when you can visit. Larry Klein is the chairman of the Storm Drain Committee for the City of Palo Alto. Larry, tell me, what's the purpose of the Storm Drain Committee?
Well, the purpose relates back to 2000. In 2000, we had an election where the voters overwhelmingly turned down a proposal to finance the storm drain improvements. And the City Council this year has taken a look at that and said, we need to take a fresh look at what we're going to be doing with regard to storm drains. And thus we've created a Storm Drain Committee, an impartial committee composed of people from all over the community to take a fresh look at this issue and advise the City Council on what to do.
Well, tell me, what exactly is a storm drain and why has this been such a contentious issue?
Well, I think there are two parts to that. The first, storm drain. Storm drain is not a sewer. Storm drain is what collects rain when we have rains in the winter and puts it into the creeks and from the creeks out into the bay. So the storm drain is the little catch basins down at the end of each block. The water then runs into from the catch basins into pipes, and from the pipes into the creeks, and from the creeks out into the bay.
Okay. And tell me then, there's obviously a timeline for this long process, so you'll be discussing storm drains, and then what's the outcome and what do you expect to happen down the line?
Well, I think this became contentious in 2000 for a variety of reasons, thus leading us to take this fresh look at it. Our timeline for this committee is that we intend to finish our work and have a report to the City Council by October of this year. What the council does then is up to the council, but I think the expectation is that we will be having an election of some sort or other sometime in the spring of 2003.
Well, we'll certainly come back and visit you again later on when you're closer to having some recommendations. But in the meantime, you know, you're a successful lawyer, you're a resident of Palo Alto. Why would you have volunteered to chair the Storm Drain Committee?
Good question. You want me to consult a psychiatrist? I think that things like this are important for the community to get resolved in a constructive way, and I thought maybe I'd be able to make some contribution. It's an interesting challenge, and so thus, contrary to everybody's advice, I decided to take it on.
Well, wonderful. We'll look forward to hearing more from you.
Good. Thank you.
To contact the City of Palo Alto Storm Drain Committee, call Larry Klein at 857-1717 or Joe Teresi, City Engineer, at 329-2129.
Sharon Murphy and I are here to talk about family resources. Sharon, just what is family resources?
Well, PA Family Resources is your link to the community of Palo Alto through information about over 550 resources that are available here to meet our families' needs and those of their children, and connections to this whole community.
Well, how does a person make all those connections?
Well, there are a variety of ways, 5 that I'd like to tell you about.
Okay.
We have a website that has a searchable database where you can retrieve details of all these 550 resources, and you can also meet providers of these services and leaders of the community on the website where you'll see their picture, and they have a voice message for you that's also in type if you don't have access to an audio card in your own computer. We also have collaborated with sites around town that have public internet access, so that if you don't have a computer at home, you can come to any of these places, and 6 of the libraries offer those internet access sites, as well as education on how to use the internet if you're unfamiliar with that. We also have a desktop kiosk of information which provides hard copy information about these resources for those who are not inclined to use the internet or where the internet isn't available. And we have an ambassador development program that trains and gathers people from the community, a cross-section of the community, so that they can get to know one another better, learn about the resources, develop collaborations, and reach out to the community, particularly to those people who are hard to reach and who aren't inclined to be in the mainstream of information exchange. And we have a small hub, a central office at the Coverly Community Center, where you can walk in and talk to us if you like.
Well, that sounds absolutely fabulous to have all those different methods. Now, tell me about a person who might use your services. Just, give me an example or two.
Well, one example might be a parent who's new to town. And they want to find out information about the schools that are available in their community. Mm-hmm. They can go to the kiosk that has maps of the district if they wish. If they see a kiosk, there are kiosks located in 54 locations around town in all of the There are various information centers in town, 4 of those, plus the libraries, plus nonprofits, plus schools in the school offices, many of those places, faith communities. If they see one, they can look there and see the district maps, or they can access the internet and look under the education category and find out all kinds of things. They can therefore link to the PAUSD calendar and anything they want to know about education. We also have a category about child care. Maybe they need child care. There are maps there also that tell them where child care can be located near their home or their place of work. There are categories about health care and mental health and counseling if they need to connect with doctors now that they've come here. Emergency crisis, basic needs, disability resources, community resources, and so on and so forth. Many, many things. And it's a searchable database. That makes it much easier for people to find exactly what they need. There are a variety of tools to access the information.
Well, the variety and the depth and breadth of information is fantastic. You emphasized to me earlier that it's not a family resources center. So what are you getting at when you say we don't have a center?
Right. In the beginning, when focus groups and surveys were conducted in this community to find out what they needed and wanted, it became clear, really evident, that no one felt the need for another place to go, another place to have to drive to and get out of your car and spend time. So Family Resources is a virtual tool. It's a virtual center. It's wherever you might be. In the tools that I just mentioned, your internet access is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, wherever you might have internet access in your own home. And the kiosks, and then the ambassadors is really the crowning jewel, because I think all of us who are in the business of trying to meet people's needs, getting the information to them is one of the hardest things to do. And it has been clear to me through work that I have done in many of the industries around this community that it's people talking to each other that tell them what's available in their own business. And if we train people in this community, if we raise their level of awareness of the resources in town, particularly people who are interested in helping others, and that's who the ambassadors have been up to this point. We'll have 100 graduate ambassadors as of May of this year.
And is there a regular demand for ambassadors so that I could sign up or anybody in the community could do that?
Absolutely. I am so glad you asked. The next ambassador development program will begin in October. And we really invite everyone to call who's interested in helping other people in the community and wants to know what's available here that they can share with other people when they hear about needs. So they should call the Family Resources Office or anyone in the city who will know how to direct them to us, and we will get them signed up in the ambassador program that begins in the fall.
Poona Nair is here from the YWCA to talk about her involvement with Family Resources. Poona, tell me, what's the connection between Family Resources and the YWCA?
Initially, when Sharon Murphy had sent out invitations for us to come and find out more about ambassador training at the Family Resources, we didn't know what we were getting into. And after we had our ice creams and got to know what Family Resources is about, we found out there's a wealth of information out there which the YWCA Mid-Peninsula didn't know about before. Once we got into the training of Family Resources, we found out about other nonprofit agencies, resources available out there for nonprofit agencies such as YWCA, YMCA, Ecumenical. There's so many other nonprofits. That way we get to network with each other, refer people coming off the streets, finding out about information, get a great web source from the website that they have, and this way YWCA was able to connect with other nonprofit agencies to get a wealth of information. So this was primarily how we got connected.
Well, that sounds great. Can you tell me what have been some of the benefits to you then to the Y?
Benefits have been building relationships, most importantly, with other nonprofits. Previously, YWCA we have our own set of programs like Teen WEP, we have an outlet, we have a rape crisis center. Building connections with the other nonprofits, we were able to advertise all our programs held at the YWCA and be able to connect with similar programs at different nonprofit agencies. So this was great because we found out there were more agencies such as ourselves giving the same services. So that way, if we network and connected with them, we were able to build a stronger community out there for people needing resources such as what we were offering at the YWCA.
Hello, I'm Vic Ojakian, and I'm privileged to be the mayor of Palo Alto this year. One of the goals that Palo Alto City Council has set for itself is trying to communicate with its residents more frequently and in a better way. As part of that, I've enacted a program called the Mobile Mayor, which I've provided individuals in town an opportunity to meet with me in a more informal setting at some of our local shopping centers and other places. Several of you talked with me recently at the opening of the farmers market, and one of the things that I learned from people in town is that there's a concern about traffic, overdevelopment, city beautification, and several other matters. During the year, the City Council is planning on focusing in on 5 top priorities. They include long-range financial planning, repair of our facilities, alternative transportation and traffic calming, land use, and affordable housing issues. I hope you feel free sometime during the year to have the opportunity to meet with me at one of the locations where I'm performing the Mobile Mayor. In the meantime, if you'd like to get a hold of me, please contact me at either my mayor's office phone number or through my city email address. Thank you.
Palo Alto is a city known for taking care of its trees. In this segment, we're going to meet several of the city's arborists and some of those fine volunteers at Canopy who help plant trees for the city. Dave Doctor and I are here to talk about the role of trees in the city of Palo Alto.
One of my responsibilities, PA, is in the planning department is to work in conjunction with the public works arborists. There are actually 2 of us in the city that oversee different areas of responsibility. Public works arborist who oversees all the publicly owned trees. My responsibilities go predominantly to the private trees on private property. So the tree protection ordinance of the municipal code is one of my responsibilities. The development review in the planning department is another responsibility I have. I function as a utility planner, you might say, or a landscape architect to ensure that the right things are planted. Another area of responsibility is to make sure that we're always certified for the Tree City USA category.
You've mentioned 2 interesting things there, the ordinance and then the Tree City. So let's take the ordinance first. Tell me about that.
The Palo Alto Tree Preservation Ordinance, which is all on listed on our website, actually is very unique amongst cities in the Bay Area. Quite a few cities regionally and state and nationwide are looking into Palo Alto as an example because we have some very unique components to our ordinance. It protects 3 type species trees, which is very, very moderate as most cities go: coast redwoods, coast live oaks, and valley oaks. However, our ordinance refers to a companion document called the Tree Technical Manual. That is the unique thing about Palo Alto's ordinance, which there we're able to discuss really detailed information on how to really take care of trees. How do we determine if a tree is hazardous or not? Really problems for most cities that are left vague and unidentified, how to solve them, have been solved in Palo Alto's answer to those issues with the use of this document. It's actually quite unique.
And the second part about the Tree City USA, tell us about that designation.
Tree City USA is a national program sponsored by the National Arbor Day Foundation, and it's a real privilege for any city to be mentioned on this list, you know.
Great.
And there's 4 criteria to be a Tree City USA. One of which is there needs to be a tree replanting program. You have to celebrate Arbor Day, which there's a National Arbor Day and also a California Arbor Day. So big difference. So California Arbor Day, which Palo Alto predominantly celebrates, is March 6th every year. Yeah.
And lastly, it seems that you've dedicated most of your life to our leafy friends. What message would you have for the residents about trees?
Oh, the love for trees. Get out and touch a tree. I know worldwide I hear of when people mention Palo Alto and they say, oh, Palo Alto, it's the trees. There's something about the entry gateways to Palo Alto, the canopy coverage, that they love the trees in Palo Alto. And I'm proud to be working here, and I love my job in helping take care of trees.
Dave Sandage is with the Public Works Department, and his role is to take care of city's trees. Dave, tell us about why a city arborist is in the Public Works Department and what your job entails.
Well, the city of Palo Alto owns about 36,000 trees. These trees, 31,500 of them are growing along the streets, 400 miles of curbs, and the other 4,500 are in the parks and the public facilities. And we have a full-time staff that maintains this urban forest that includes 7 certified arborists. These people we use to remove the old dying trees, plant the new replacement trees. We do an emergency care service for 24-hour-a-day problems. We do the pest control and the other technical things with the full-time staff, such as cabling big oak trees. And additionally, the overall maintenance program has an area-wide pruning program that cycles through the city each year in an area and prunes the whole thing, and it's funded right now for 6 to 7 years. We use contractors for that, and they're doing a good job with our supervision. We also have a utility-funded electric line clearing program, which keeps the tree branches out of the wires, and that's a very important safety issue. Some of those trees are in people's backyards that are private trees. These programs include a right tree, right place program, where a large, dangerous tree in the wires can be removed. The resident is rebated for that removal, and a replacement of a smaller, more appropriate tree is provided.
Can you tell me then, if a resident does have a problem with a city tree or with utility lines, what's the best way of getting help?
Just to call the utility department or city communications, even 911 if it's an electric wire, and they'll transfer it to us.
And is there any other message you would have to our residents regarding Palo Alto and Tree City, USA?
Yes, our Tree City status we're very proud of. The residents are a big part of this, and Canopy has community programs. Each resident depends on its neighbors to provide the soil and the sunlight and the water and the space for that tree to grow. So that's what we need.
Marty Degeler is the chairman of the steering committee for Canopy in Palo Alto. Marty, would you tell us something about Canopy?
Well, Canopy is a nonprofit organization that's existed for about 6 years, and we, in conjunction with the city of Palo Alto, provide a whole variety of tree-related services. The one that's probably the most visible is that we do a lot of tree plantings throughout the city, along city streets and in parks and at schools. But we also have a very important mission relative to the care of the new trees after they're planted, and in the education of Palo Alto residents to try to make them good stewards of Palo Alto's beautiful urban forest.
Well, I know we're known as Tree City, USA. You must work closely with the city's arborists.
We absolutely do. Every one of our plantings is coordinated with the city, both in terms of the selection of the trees, the placement of the trees, and the city, of course, does provide the trees to us and all the materials that we need to do our plantings.
We're here at the Art Center, and I know that your most recent planting project was here. You want to tell us something about that?
This was a project that we did on Earth Day, and we did it in conjunction with Roche Pharmaceuticals, who provided all the volunteers for the effort. And we planted, between the Art Center and a block down, we planted 15 cherry trees in celebration of Earth Day.
And I'm sure there must be residents out there who'd love to get involved. How would people get more information about Canopy?
They can call us at 964-6110 or visit our website at canopy.org.
Thanks, Marty. If you're interested in volunteering for Canopy, by all means check out their website. And if you need more information about the city's tree planting programs, just do a search on the city's website. She's been called concierge, ombudsperson, and Miss Know-It-All. I'm talking about Victoria Bosch, Public Communications Coordinator for the City of Palo Alto. So, Victoria, how did you get all those names?
Well, I sort of know where everything is, know where all the bodies are buried.
And tell me, so when people come into City Hall and they're asking questions, what are they asking for most of the time?
People come in here to pay parking tickets, to pay their utility bill, or they perhaps have questions about the bills. They come here when they really want to go to the development center across the street. That's the planning and building department. Perhaps they'd come here to pay for an animal license.
And tell me, do you keep all this information and stuff in your head, or are you able to give them other things to take home with them?
Now, I have lots of brochures from many of the city departments, and basically I'm hoping that people will come here first when they have questions. I can save them a lot of time. If they phone me, I'd be able to save them a lot of time rather than going to lots of different departments.
So, residents, talk to Victoria Bosch first. She really does know it all.
Hi, I'm Officer Heather Akins of the Palo Alto Police Department, currently assigned to hiring and training. If you've ever thought about a career with the Palo Alto Police Department and law enforcement, now's the time to apply. With so many agencies, you may wonder, why Palo Alto? We offer a great 4-11 work schedule, which means you work 4 11-hour days and have 4 days off every week. We offer competitive salaries, excellent benefits, and have a variety of specialty positions to offer. But mostly, we have a unique group of people who are amazing to work with and learn from. If you think you have what it takes to be a Palo Alto police officer, call today for an application. Our number is 329-2601, or visit us on the web at www.papd.org.
Thanks for watching City Beat, Inside Palo Alto. I'm P.A. Moore. See you next time.